Yeah, these are from Chris. This one I know about, and I'm going to say why I don't think this is relevant. But the second one I don't. But yeah, these is from Chris. This is basically the Charlie Kirk Israel theory. I don't buy it, but especially from Candice Owens. But we'll listen to what this matey has to say.
Wow, we now have actual proof that Charlie Kirk was indeed abandoning the pro Israel cause right before he was assassinated. Charlie just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking about.
The thing is with this, that's what donors do. It's not. He has every right as a donor to do that. If you don't like, I've even had people do it to me. I can think of one in particular, but I've had loads of people do it to me for like watching Donald Trump's savage moments. Rory, if you keep on supporting Donald Trump, I'm gonna not be a patron anymore. And it's like, well, don't be a patron. No, you like, and no one is. This guy's donating 2 million a year. No one's donating it that much to me. And it's like, but they still feel like they have the right to tell you what to say and that. And Charlie, the donor has every right to pull his money, and Charlie has every right to be mad about it. And the reason why it gives me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. All right, who did Charlie have on his show to discuss the Israel-Palestine conflict after these messages? The day before he got shot, who was on his show? Ben Shapiro. He had Ben Shapiro on as an expert on Israel-Gaza war. Like, does that sound like someone? Why not have Tucker? Why not have Candice? Now, Tucker, Charlie's not going to knock back down from Tucker because he likes Tucker. And someone actually said Charlie would say Tucker isn't Candice. Here's the thing. These text messages, if you take what the TPUSA guy said, he took these, the two TPUSA guy. He took these to send it to the FBI. He said because there was a few days where they didn't know what was going on and they hadn't caught Tyler Robinson yet. He screenshotted that part specifically and sent it to the FBI because he thought Israel might be an option. So this whole thing that TPUSA is covering it up, it's not. These come from the next in line, or Charlie's right-hand man, that Andrew Colvert. He was the one who screenshotted these. And this is the thing, it's like Charlie blowing off steam, someone blowing off steam. It's like you can say a lot, people say a lot of things personally that they don't say publicly because they don't want it to hang publicly. The fact is, even up to the day before he died, he was publicly, he had Ben Shapiro on his show. And then people say he asked him some tough questions. Yeah, he asked him some tough questions. But why have Ben Shapiro to begin with if you're going against the Israel cause? And the whole thing that Charlie was, he didn't like what they was doing, he didn't like this, he didn't like that. It's not true. What Charlie was annoyed with Israel for was how bad that they're handling the propaganda war. Like, that's what Charlie wrote in his letter. But this is like, yeah, it's like this come from all the people saying TPUSA were involved in it. It's like, well, these messages come from a group chat that was screenshot by someone high up at TPUSA to give to the FBI because he thought Israel may have a hand in it because of this thing. And he's like, but obviously it played out the way it played out, and now we know who it was and what it was. He's like, but this was, he's like, you got to think everything was going crazy at that point in time. No one knew anything what had happened. It could, do you know what I mean? Charlie upset a lot of people, so it's like, it could come from any angle, but yeah.
Inviting Candice. Jewish donors.
But also, look how he wrote that as well. Just another huge Jewish, just lost another huge Jewish donor, 2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candice. Do you not see that that's like, yeah, you want to take money for that? Like, that's how it makes you. Like I say, people have done it to me. As small as my channel is, some people that are, if, like I say, I've literally had it. If you keep putting Donald Trump things on, I'm out of here. And it's like, well, right, well, go on then. people do that all the time, and it's their right. Do you know what I mean? I don't have a right to their thing, but nor do you have a right to tell me what to do either. It's like, yeah, you have the right to leave, and Charlie has the right. And this is the other thing of it. Who's not in this group chat? This is obviously a group chat with Charlie's friends that he obviously feels comfortable blowing off steam, talking about another 2 million a year um, donor, and it's like Candice Owens wasn't in this chat. She got this through someone else. Like, she's not part of his circle no more. And then she's acting like as well. The only people I've heard say that Charlie died a martyr for Israel are people that are anti-Israel. Because if you actually paid attention to after Charlie's death, his memorial was all Christian. He died a martyr for Christ and for free speech. And then it was Candice Owens saying, I'm sick of you trying to make him a martyr for Israel. It's like, he wasn't killed by a pro-Palestine person. He wasn't killed by a Muslim. It is like, even like, no one was claiming he died. And it's like, and then she changed it to, well, he didn't die a friend of Israel. It's like, well, he kind of did. The last person he had on his show was Ben Shapiro as like I say, the expert, the unbiased voice of the Middle East, Ben Shapiro. But yeah.
Into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. These texts were sent 48 hours before he died. Like, we all thought this was very weird.
And it's like, yeah, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. As long as you leave out the fact that 24 hours before he died, he had Ben Shapiro on his show. As I say, why not? Like, there's a lot of pro-Palestine voices in the world. There's a lot of anti-Israel voices as well. Why not have that Ian Carroll one? Why not have Nick Fuentes? And imagine that. Charlie and Nick Fuentes actually sitting down to each other. The other thing as well is look up the messages Dinesh Souza received from Charlie. To be honest, actually, the writers, I see how they've been going at Tucker Carlson for having Nick Fuentes. Like, they really want to shut down Nick Fuentes. The right is playing the left's game now with censoring people. But Dinesh D'Souza debated Nick Fuentes, and Charlie was messaging him, Dinesh D'Souza, saying, why would you platform him? You just speaking to them. We've been fighting him for years. No, 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 no. And it's like, wow. You're having a go at Dinesh D'Souza because he debated Nick Fuentes. People were saying Tucker Carlson having Nick Fuentes, like, and yeah, this is the thing as well. I've seen that people saying, because people saying, well, we have crazy communists on our show. Tucker Carlson has communists, he has all sorts of people on. Why Nick Fuentes is so bad? And they're like, yes, because Nick Fuentes is actually like because he's actually good. Basically, is why they don't want him platformed. Is that people will take to him. And that's the thing. It's like people just trying to brush Nick Fuentes off as an idiot. He's an insanely well researched person. But yeah, I've noticed it with that. But that's the thing. Charlie, he's saying it once in a message and then going against Charlie's position throughout his whole entire career, even up to the day before he died. He still had Ben Shapiro on his show. Like, he was still pro-Israel.
We just didn't have the proof. I mean, a mural of Charlie
still
Kirk
don't.
painted in one day in Tel Aviv? Come on. Also, is it not kind of weird that Erica Kirk...
And this is the other thing as well. Left-wing people celebrated it, and Muslims celebrated it. Look up the Sneeko video, where Sneeko actually realised how evil Muslims are, because they're all saying, good, Charlie Kirk is the enemy of Islam. And Sneeko's a turned Muslim, going, whoa, like, what? Like, left-wing people celebrated it, put videos up, yeah, Charlie's dead, ha ha, who's next? Muslims celebrated it, and since it's happened, everyone's been saying it's the right and it's um, Jews. When Jews was actually, they did a memorial for him. They painted a thing in a day. It's like, really? They put a thing up in a day? It's like, what's wrong with that? Someone can paint something in a day. And Charlie was a big pro-Israel voice. Like the pro-Israel thing has took a serious blow losing Charlie. They took a serious blow because Charlie was effective because he made good points, but also he's not Jewish, and that really helps the argument out because it's like yeah. Anyway, let's carry on.
And the rest of Turning Point USA has all moved on from this. Okay, Candace Owens is the only person.
But these messages come from TPUSA giving it to the FBI. That's how Candice has got her hands on it. Is the reason these messages got leaked in the first place was because, like Andrew Colvert said, we didn't want to leave any stone unturned. Any possibility was viable when it first happened because we didn't know what on earth was going on. Everyone's shocked, everyone's grieving, everyone's. Do you know what I mean? It's like to say how they've just moved on. Do you think that maybe they've moved on because because it's an ongoing case? Candy's sitting there saying, release all the information, release all the information. It's like, it's an ongoing case. They can't. And a detective said, it's like, if I was running this case now, I wouldn't be saying anything either. Because if I release all the information I have, and someone comes forward with information that can back up something I've got. Now I don't know. It's like someone just ringing up and saying something, and it confirms something I have that hasn't been released to the public, makes their witness thing more viable. So that's why you don't release and Candy Owens saying release the video of Charlie being shot. To be honest, I don't want to see the video of Charlie being shot anymore. Like, why? She's saying, I love Charlie. He's my best friend. But release every footage of him being murdered brutally on camera to the internet for everybody to see and for people to cheer and for people to laugh and for people to mock. Like, why would you want that of your friend? Why would you want your friend's murder? It's like bad enough that it went round as it is. It's awful. And that one day, probably his kids will come across that video and think what that will do psychologically to him. It's like, but yeah, let's finish it off.
Somehow the only person who still cares about trying to find out the truth about what happened to Charlie Kirk. Not his wife, not his company, Candace Owens. Kudos to her.
All right, well, let's talk about Candace Owens' theory. She said Bill Ackman threatened him, along with Josh Hammer, at this meeting that Charlie was summoned to by Israel. He was threatened in the meeting, and Charlie was in fear for his life when he left that meeting. Bill Ackman come out and released every message he'd had with Charlie and laid out the whole entire story of him and Charlie. And that Charlie actually approached him about sorting out that thing. And he's like, you said I was there. Bill Ackman wasn't even at that meeting in the Hamptons or whatever it was. But she said Bill Ackman was one of the loudest voices. When Bill Ackman come out, released the messages where Charlie was saying, yeah, it was great, we'll have to do it again. And he said, Charlie asked me to moderate a debate for him. Like, so Bill Ackman basically come out and give this great big story, release the messages where he wasn't threatening Charlie. And then Candace Owens said, well, I wasn't actually talking about that more. I was talking about the phone call with Netanyahu and the letter. Okay, so she shifted it. She was saying Bill Ackman was threatening him, but now she shifted it. Okay, so now it's Netanyahu killed him. Okay. Well, what does Netanyahu do now? Releases the letter. Everyone talking about the letter, and to be honest, if you're going to say the letter's fake, Charlie lays out how Israel can win the propaganda war. If Israel invented it, then why weren't they just doing that in the first place? Because if Charlie wrote that letter, Charlie laid them out a how-to win the propaganda war. If you go and read the letter he sent to Netanyahu, like I say, why would if Israel had someone in their thing to write out all these strategies, then Why wouldn't they just be implementing them strategies in the first place? And it sounded like, Charlie, you need to get on TikTok. You need to have people. He's like, I shouldn't be out here being the answer for all the anti Israel propaganda. You need to have Israeli people. You need to start doing press conferences in English. You need to start doing, like Charlie laid it well for him. Go read the letter. And it's like, you can say it's fake, but then they faked up a perfect thing, which they weren't doing. Which, why not just do it? It's like, why not do it to win the propaganda war? Yeah, and it's like, so Candice went from that to that. So then he released a letter. Candice didn't mention it. No mention of the letter. She then went on to the FBI. Then she went on to TPUSA. She went on to Charlie's pastor, Rob. Now she's picking on his son, trying to get them, and I can't help but like think she's just trying to get them to break the gag order. They are all got to go to court. You're calling out these people's names. Why aren't you answering my questions? Who are you, Candice? You're not the FBI. And this is what her whole thing's on. Do you trust the feds? Because Charlie doesn't. Certainly didn't. He certainly didn't trust the feds on what we was getting with the Epstein files. That's exactly Candice's words, by the way. That's a direct quote. And this is her whole thing now, is just saying Charlie thought this, Charlie thought that, to validate her own thing. It's like, this isn't proof of anything. These messages, I've seen these messages, and it's like, it's not proof of anything other than Charlie's frustrated. And it's like, a donor is allowed to take money away, and Charlie has the right to be mad about it. It doesn't mean they have to kill him for it. Because then, if you are saying that this is proof, then you're not saying it's Netanyahu. You're saying it's this specific donor that had an argument with Charlie, and 48 hours later, he's dead. Despite the fact that whilst this is all happening, Tyler Robinson and his little trans community were writing all days before, guess what's going to happen? You wait to see what happens. Charlie don't know what's coming for him. All of this shit leading up to it. And then when it happened, all them same accounts shared that same post and said, there it is. Oops, I've pleaded the fifth. All these things. So Tyler Robinson and all his crew had... They have shown online on social media that they had prior knowledge that this was going to happen, and then when it happened, they reshared it and said, "There you go, told ya," basically, and then deleted everything. But obviously, it's social media; you can't delete everything; it stays there forever. But yeah, don't believe Candice Owens. She is batshit crazy. Like, nothing she said, because then she started going on to Ukraine. She started talking about Ukrainians killed him, the FBI, and that's it. Yeah, oh, is it because you? I mean, come on, do you trust the feds? It's like, and everyone's going to answer that no. So therefore, they killed Charlie Kirk. No, yeah, she's gone through every member of TPUSA, Josh Hammer, and this is the other thing. She's having a go at Josh Hammer about his book, promoting his book, whilst talking about Charlie. And then 2 seconds later, Candice will go into an advert. She's got CIA merchandise, the Candice Intelligence Agency. She's selling merchandise as if she's this great investigator and that she's the one. And if you listen to what a cult is, what he just said, he's just part of her cult. Rule one of a cult leader is to make your followers distrust everything else and think that you are the only true source of information, that you are the source, and anything else is misinformation. And it's like, your people, she keeps claiming people being paid. It's like, I can guarantee she is, by Islam. And this is the other thing, the anti-Israel thing. You want to worry about Israel. It's like, but you've also got to throw into that Islam, the Islamic countries, are paying social media people to promote their side of things too, like 100%. And Islam has a lot of money. Again, Palestine isn't a true representation of what the average Muslim wealth is. They are ridiculously wealthy. But yeah, Charlie says, oh, that's the other thing as well. Charlie says no to Israel. That he said no to Netanyahu 150 million. Again, you can see why he would. And also, he's probably like, you don't have to. Like, Charlie actually loved Israel. Everything, every word out of that man's mouth, up until the day he died, publicly, he was pro Israel. And then one message that Candice Owens gets hold of means he was anti-Israel and going to turn on Israel because he said, I have to leave the pro-Israel cause. It's like, well, he obviously didn't. He obviously didn't, because he had Ben Shapiro on his show. Yeah, and that's it. You can see how he distanced himself from Candice. Now, obviously, Tucker's a bit different. Tucker's not as out there either. And again, this is the thing. Why kill Charlie? So Charlie's pro-Israel, 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 sends one anti-Israel message and they kill him. Yet Candice Owens has been exposing all of Israel's truths that only she has worked out. No one else is smart enough to work them out. She's worked them out. She's exposing every truth Israel has and all their dirty deeds they're doing, but she's fine. She can just go about, hang around with Kanye, live a celebrity lifestyle. But Charlie, who's pro-Israel, 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 writes in one message, I might have to leave the pro-Israel cause, 48 hours, he's dead. When Charlie died, Candice had the most numbers, and she was blaming Israel for Charlie's death. Why not kill Candice then? Because now they've killed Charlie Kirk in America, which is an act of war within on American soil. They've basically declared war against America, and Candice is the only one that sussed it out. She's the only voice, and she's the biggest voice. She's got millions and millions of views, but Israel goes, nah, Candice, she's too much. She's war, not Candice. We can't mess with Candice. It's like, nah, wait, she's way too gangster for us. It's like, but yeah, anyway, sweet.